Before we begin today's story, take a moment to subscribe if you enjoy emotionally driven stories that stay with you. These are not stories that rush past you or shout for attention. They settle quietly into your thoughts and stay there. In this story, everything begins in a simple, almost forgettable moment inside an ordinary apartment building. Clara Whitman steps out of her apartment, holding a small trash bag and her phone, thinking about dinner. She moves through her day in a careful rhythm, built after years of disappointment and fleeting connections. As she reaches the hallway, something interrupts that quiet normality. A soft crash echoes from near the stairwell. A cardboard box has tipped over, spilling books across the carpet, creating a small chaos. There, a man she has never seen before, Ethan crouches awkwardly, rubbing the back of his neck, embarrassed. Two more boxes lean against the wall, and a tall floor lamp wobbles slightly beside him. Clara hesitates. She usually keeps her distance, having learned that connections often fade too quickly. Yet something about his tired gaze at the scattered books makes her take a step closer. When she finally speaks, it's gentle and teasing. One of your boxes clearly did not survive the journey. He looks up, startled, revealing dark, messy hair and an expression that is polite but slightly lost. He responds with faint, awkward humor. Gravity won this round, which makes her smile despite herself. She kneels down to help without fully deciding to, as if her body chose before her mind could argue. Together, they gather the varied, worn, and clearly well-loved books, some thick with cracked spines. Others are thin and folded from use, filled with sketches, city design notes, old novels, and private thoughts. Clara notices how many there are and comments, "You read a lot," to which he replies, "More than I should." In that small exchange, something subtle begins to form, not connection yet, but recognition. As if two separate lives briefly brushed against each other and felt the impact. Then another book slips and a framed photo falls, revealing two people smiling in front of an ocean. Ethan freezes for a second too long before picking it up and covering part of it with his hand. Clara notices the shift in his shoulders, the sudden tightening, but she does not ask. She understands the unspoken language of things people are not ready to share. Instead, she introduces herself simply as Clara, and he says his name is Ethan. When their fingers briefly brush during the exchange of a book, it's accidental yet noticeable. Both pause for a fraction of a second before stepping back, clearing the air with polite distance. They finish stacking the boxes, exchanging small remarks about the building, the unreliable heater, and the groaning elevator. A lightness grows between them, despite the quiet restraint, until Clara eventually prepares to leave. He thanks her with a tone that carries something guarded beneath it, something practiced. She walks away but feels an unfamiliar awareness lingering, a sense that the moment was heavier than expected. Inside her apartment, she finds herself replaying his voice, saying thank you in a way that softened without intention. Across the courtyard, she notices a light turn on in his apartment and tells herself it's just curiosity. But still, she lingers at her window longer than necessary, watching the faint movement of shadow. As days pass, they encounter each other more often, in the elevator, the hallway, near the mailboxes. Each interaction starts simple, growing slightly longer than it should, until one day, a broken elevator leads to a shared ride, where Ethan casually suggests coffee. Clara, against her usual habit of refusal, agrees. That single decision expands into repeated meetings. Conversations stretch without effort, becoming routines they do not officially name. They learn small details. He takes his coffee black, she prefers too much sugar. He works late, she wakes early. He reads before sleeping. She listens to soft music in the mornings. The building that once felt empty begins to feel subtly less silent, softened by their presence. Even ordinary events like a flooded laundry room become shared experiences, ending in laughter. Later, when Ethan messages her late at night for help with his internet, Clara offers her space without hesitation. He arrives with rain on his jacket and quiet gratitude in his expression. They sit in silence, working side by side, as the world outside fades into soft weather sounds. In that silence, something unspoken grows, not dramatic or sudden, but steady. Eventually, even their conversations begin to carry weight beneath the surface, especially when Ethan hesitates outside her door one night, holding a toolbox he doesn't really need. Inside his apartment, Clara notices details he has tried to organize: books neatly placed, boxes gone, a framed photograph is missing. When she gently acknowledges it, he finally admits there was someone who changed her mind, leaving him with spaces that feel more emotional than physical. Clara listens without interrupting because she understands the shape of absence. After that night, something shifts between them. The silence is no longer awkward, but careful, as if both are learning where not to step, until one night a power outage plunges the building into darkness. Ethan comes to her door again, simply because it feels easier to be near her than alone. They sit together on the floor, surrounded by candlelight, talking quietly about how strange it is that people can live side by side without truly knowing each other. Until one small moment changes everything. In that flickering light, they sense the beginning of something delicate and uncertain, but undeniably present, as if the space between them has slowly started to disappear.